Hello, everybody. This is just going to be one of a random live. I know I'm inspiring myself from Before the Billions and Lash's journey and creating this live stream. That was mostly, as you can see on the screen, mostly going to be silent. I will have the lofi music playing in the background, but basically, I'm just going to be editing some of my photos on Flickr. As you guys will see, I do have a link to my Flickr website. You guys can feel free to go and check out my photos there as well. Hello, hello, lashes. Speak of the devil, and she shall appear. Thank you for showing up. It's a random live, as I was saying. I'm just inspiring myself from you and from Before the Billions who create these work sessions and just showing your a day in the life of and basically I'm just going to be showing some of the work I put into editing my photos on Flickr. I do have a poll and a pin comment with my photos. If you want lashes, you don't have to. You can check out my photos on Flickr live as I'm editing them, and I'm just basically going to be showing everybody some of the work I put into editing my photos. It's mostly going to be, silent. I will, like I said, put on some of the music in the background, and you guys can watch. I will be commenting in the chat, and every once in a while, coming in to talk and all that. Yeah, I didn't. I just literally I set it up maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes ago, lashes. So I'm not surprised that the notifications didn't go out. It's really a last minute decision. I've been thinking about doing this kind of stream for a while, but I really didn't plan on it for tonight exactly. So yeah, yeah, exactly. Just thankfully you do check, but yeah, my one planned live that I have set up already is for tomorrow morning at 9:30, which is my half an hour quiet reading. I do want to go live Friday night as well for my book review, but I haven't set it up because I still have to find the right book to uh, review. And then Saturday morning, I want to go live as well for my movie review. So yeah, so this is just gonna last as long as it lasts. No pressure. Yeah, just going as long as I want, and that's about it. So, just take a bite of my French fries. I did order some dinner. So yeah, so I'm gonna set up the music and get going. Like I said, there's just want to be one of those random lives. Bonsoir, Peter. Comment ça va? I hope you're doing very well tonight. And as I was just saying, this is just a random live. Where, as you can see on the screen, it's mostly going to be silent. I'll have music playing in the background, but you guys will be seeing me working on my Flickr account because I haven't really paid that much attention to it. But I did go to a museum visit, which I hope to talk about soon, probably next week or the week after. I'm not too sure. So I'm just basically getting everything organized and ready for that. So that's what you guys are going to be seeing me doing tonight. It's just working on my photos and seeing some of the effort. I will be coming in and out, but I'll be in the chat working, chit chatting with you guys. So feel free if you guys have questions, feel free to ask. Um, Feel free to talk amongst yourselves. This is just a random live. There's no, particular theme to it. You know, just like I said, just randomness in my head, in my mind. That's why I am partly a variety channel. I don't really have a particular theme. So tonight is an example. I'm gonna go start getting going and get the music going and start working on my Flickr. And Flickr, for just so that you guys know, it's a photo sharing website. Okay, so sort of like Instagram, but Flickr, to me, I prefer Flickr more than Instagram just because of how they present photos. I think it's a lot better. But I'll show you guys, and I know a lot of people like Instagram better because it's like you can make money off of Instagram, while as Flickr you can't really do that. But as a photographer, for me, Flickr um, is a lot better. But I'll show you guys, and you guys tell me. Like I said, most of my content I'm just giving you guys my personal opinion, right? So you guys are more than welcome to disagree or think, yeah, no, that I don't like that, or what, I agree with you, or I agree with you in part, right? You guys have the right to your own opinions and to think and feel whatever you want to think and feel, right? So let's see what music I can play. Let's try this one. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, that's decent music as part of the background. All right, so I'm going to share my screen and give you guys a basic tour of Flickr and then start working, right? So this is Flickr. So this would be my what's called, as you can see, my photo stream, right? So these are some of the photos that I took recently at the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts. I might visit there, and there's a little bit of naughtiness, so I have to scroll down fairly quickly because we all know how YouTube is with nudity and adult content. Let's go further down here. So you guys are getting a bit of a preview. So this is photos I took quite some time ago as well. And again, at the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts. So that's one of the things that I like about Flickr more than Instagram is how the photos are presented. It's much more global. You see a lot more in a bigger space. So you can really see all the different things, right? But what I really like, excuse me, is the fact that you can create albums. So as you can see in an album here, I can create, this is my Rembrandt in Amsterdam photo album. So all the photos in this are related to that particular theme, right? So if I'm visiting a museum for a particular exhibit, which this is what it is, right? This is a particular exhibit that I went to see. When I put my photos on Flickr, excuse me, I can tell Flickr, put all of my photos. I want all these ones, these 302 photos, in this one spot. So, like most of us are of a certain age where we're all old enough where we know what a photo album is, right? So think of a physical photo album, right? Like our mothers or grandmothers would make. You'd have a wedding album, so all of the wedding album photos are in that album, right? So it's the same basic principle here, right? So here I have two albums with my Butterflies Go Free, which is a whole bunch of photos. As you can see, I have over 18,000 photos in this one and over 10,000 photos in that one of photos I took at the Montreal Botanical Garden. They have, until fairly recently, until maybe 2, 3 years ago, every year they would have an event called the Butterflies Go Free event, where they would release butterflies in the main exhibit greenhouse of the botanical garden, and you would have different photos. So I'll quickly show you guys some of the photos that I took and get all these photos. This particular, what you're seeing here is photos that I took myself. And as you can see, this is my hand that you guys are seeing in this particular album, right? So this is a Morpho Helenor, which is the Latin name for this butterfly, right? And this is one of my favorite butterflies, the Recta Otto, which I'll show you guys here now. As you can see, the wings are partly translucent. So you're basically seeing through the butterfly, right? So the bones is this sort of bronze outline. The black lines are basically the veins, right? And then, of course, you have the body, legs, and antenna. And of course, the tongue of the butterfly and the eyes are right there, right? But this part here, the skin is basically translucent, so you can see. I do have a few shots of it where you can actually really see right through, but I'd have to go through a lot of photos to find those particular shots. So yeah, so that's some photos I took at the botanical garden. As you can see, yeah, nice little Greta Odo. So that's one of the things that I like better out of Flickr than Instagram. The other thing I like is the fact that there are statistics, so I can find out how many. As you can see, I know that there's over 5 million people, or my photos were viewed 5 million times. Obviously, more than that with that number, right? But you guys understand what I'm saying. I could go by the day. So today I can see that only 42 views. Oh no, poor me. But I know at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time they reset it, so I know that's the reason why it's low. And as you can see, I can see on the 3rd of February I got over 4,400 views on that particular day. All right. So those are just some of the things that I like about Flickr rather than Instagram. Let's see what you guys are talking about here. All right, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yes, definitely lashes. Hit the like button. And I'm doing good, Mr. Investor. I'm still a little bit under the weather, but I'm doing fairly okay. Hello, Mr. Real Estate. Thank you for being here. This is just a work session that I'm having. Yes, and I'm glad that you like it. This is my Flickr account that I'm showing. Okay, so these are photos that I've taken. What you're seeing now at the top here is my most recent photos I took. I went during the weekend to the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts. There was an exhibit there. So I'm eating while I'm talking to. That's very impolite, but hey, I'm hungry, and this is my channel. So if I want to eat, I'm gonna eat. uh, so what you're seeing now is photos I took of my most recent ventures into reality. Right. So I'm gonna start working. Like I said, it's mostly gonna be silent. You guys are mostly gonna see me just doing my thing on Flickr. But feel free, guys, to ask questions, talk amongst yourselves, right? If you have questions for me, let me know. I might not always answer you right away because I won't see your answers or questions right away, but I'll try to remind myself to go um, onto Flickr sorry, onto YouTube or uh, StreamYard to check out the your comments and so forth. All right, so um, okay, let's see. How should I do this? So I want to show you guys me typing. Now I'll stick with you guys. I'm gonna stick with this. Of you guys just seeing my page, so I will be typing away basically, and I'll just make this little adjustments. So you guys won't see me typing, but you will see. As you can see, I clicked this little the edit icon is what I just clicked. So now the layout changes differently. So now in the edit icon, this mode here, so the edit mode, I can now sort of add my information. So you guys can't see, but I have other tabs where I have this open, this one open, and that one open. So basically, what I'm going to do is, like you can see partially here, I'm going to put all this information into a notepad, then put it onto this, and sort of that it's sort of like here. But what I'm going to do with this one here, so in this here, I want to, with the Nicola buyer, I want to make it in such a way that you can click on the name and it'll bring you to the Wikipedia page of this person. Hopefully, they do have a Wikipedia page, and then that way, it'll be, it'll make my photo stream more interactive and hopefully more attractive to people as well, because people, oh, I not only get the information, but um, I can get more information. So Nicholas Byer doesn't seem to have. Oh yes, he does. Okay, good. He has both a Wikipedia page and an Instagram page and a website for himself. Hmm. Okay. Well, the Wikipedia seems to be in French, and since I know most of my audience are English speaking, both on Flickr and on YouTube, I'm not going to use the Wikipedia page. I'm going to go onto his website, which again I know you guys aren't seeing, but I do see it. That's the one thing with StreamYard is you can't share multiple screens at the same time, which is a piss off a little bit, but it is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and get the HTML code that I need to be able to make a link between um, his website and his name, so that when people see his name on my Flickr, they'll be able to click on it and be brought to his, in this case, to his personal website. So that's what I'm going to do now. So if I go silent, guys, it's because I'm working on it, not because I have nothing to say. So that's what I'm doing now. Excuse me. So this is the end result of my HTML code that allows me to add a hyperlink essentially to my description of my photo. Okay, so when I click done, as you can see now the name is in blue, and as you can see my icon when I go over it, I can now click on that Nicholas Byer and be brought to his website. Okay, so like I said, as you can see, brought to his website. Okay, because his website is unfortunately, the Wikipedia page, I should say, is in French, and seen as most of my audience is English speaking, doesn't really help to have the Wikipedia page in French. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing is getting all this information onto the right photo and then add in the hyperlinks if and when applicable. So I'm just going to see if there's anything else in the description that I think might be worth making a hyperlink. If not, I'll move on to something else. Will correct a mistake here. It's artist proof with two O's and not two R's. Okay. Let me check to see if the inventory, if that is something that can be hyperlinked. So I'm going to just take a second to look on the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts website to see if it has if it displays that particular item on its website. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but with many museums, they have online galleries basically where you can see a lot of the content online. Um, so that's really what's interesting with a lot of museums. So basically, if you want to go quote unquote online, you can see a lot of the collection of the museums online. So I think the Louvre does that for some of its content. I know that the British Museum does that, etc. So, and as you guys have been just told, the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts does that. And okay, I see that that particular artifact, as it's called, is part of the online website. So that's what I'm going to do now is make a hyperlink for the inventory number. So I'm just going to do that. And that's what's good is once I create a basic hyperlink in my notepad, I'm just basically changing the website and the word that I want to be clickable. There we are. So get back to my description. So the downfall with doing this is that there's a lot of back and forth. I can type relatively fast, but it's getting the information, going to the website, go here, do this, do that. That's what creates a lot of work for me. So you guys can't see it here, but I've created the hyperlink for um, for the inventory number. So I'm just going to stop share and just show you guys the end result of what I've just done for this particular photo. So this is the excuse me, the end result of what I just did. So I put the title, which is that. Now, as you can see, Nicholas Bayer is clickable. It's a hyperlink. So as you can see, it's not only a different color, but when my mouse goes over this, you can see that the pointer changes, and so does it for this. And the same thing with here. All right. So now that's what I try to do with my photos, right? So that people not only know what this photo is, so they when they see, they know, okay, that's the title of it, but they're able to see all of this as well. So I'm going to stop sharing, and that's part of what I'm doing tonight, trying to get as much of that done, so that way when people are on my page, that they're getting as much of that information as possible, as quickly as possible. So that's what I'm going to continue doing with you guys tonight. So sorry for the silence, guys. I was just typing out the text um, of the photo that I was doing. So I'm going to show you guys now some of the work that I just did. That's not quite what I want to do here. Okay, let's get it right. Here we are. So I'm back with you guys for a second. So I just put all of this into text. So as you can see, I clicked in the add description, and then I'm just going to paste what I've done. Now, what you guys see here, this little code here and here, that's to tell the computers that see it that the word seam, I want it italicized, right? So when you have that, your word is a little bit on diagonal, right? So that's italicized. So that's the HTML code for that. Okay. So I'm just going to correct that. And that's my title. Okay. Because that's the one thing that I do like about the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts. Their descriptors are, excuse me, usually the same way. So they have the name of the artist, when and where they were born, and if they deceased, when and where they passed away, the title of the work, the year it was made, what it's made out of, the status of the work. So if it's a loan, if it's a gift, if they bought it, and in some cases, an actual description of it, right? So they'll talk a little bit about that work. This is relatively rare. I mean, rare-ish. I mean, I see maybe 30, 40% of the time. Most of the time, I see something like this where it's really just the artist, basic information about them, the name of the work, the year, what material it was made of, and the status of the work, and that's about it. You're not really getting much more than that, right? So as you can see, I then moved the title to, obviously, I'm going to replace, this is the automatic type that my camera gives the image, right? So I'm going to replace that with the title of the piece of work. So I'm just going to save it by clicking done so that at least it's there. Now I do want to do the same thing with Michael Floman as I did with Nicholas Bayer. So I'm going to just go to my handy dandy Wikipedia. You guys know me and Wikipedia are BFFs. I cannot live without Wikipedia. And hopefully Wikipedia cannot live without me, hopefully, but you know, I doubt it. I think Wikipedia can do fine with or without me, but I know I definitely will not go very far without Wikipedia. Let's see. Okay, yeah, there is a Wikipedia page, so I'm just going to create the hyperlink for him. So I'm just going to do that now. So guys, again, if I go silent, it's because I'm doing the work, not because I don't want to talk. And I will show you guys a little bit of an explanation as to that hyperlink code that I'm using for him. So that's that. Let me see if you guys are saying anything. Hello, hello, Tamara and Son. How are you? So glad that you're here and spending a little bit of time with me. So this is just a work stream where I'm just showing you guys a little bit of the work that I put into my Flickr photo stream. So to explain to you guys a little bit about this hyperlink code that I just did for uh, Michael Floman. So basically, what this whole code is saying is when somebody sees Michael Floman, I want you to do this. So I want it to be able to make it so that people can click on the name and be brought to a website. So here the lesser than and then the letter A is saying the code needs to start here. And then this here, this part here, I'm going to highlight it, is to say this stops here. So I want the hyperlink to start here and I want it to end here. And then the href, right, is It's going to say, I want you to bring the people to this particular website. This is where I want you to bring people when they click on this. So that's basically what the hyperlink HTML code is. Starting from here and ending here, I want you to bring people when they see Michael Floman to this other website. Okay, so that's basically what a hyperlink code is and looks like in HTML. And just like my inventory code for Nicholas Bayer, I'm going to check to see if this one is also on the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts website and is something that I could potentially link back to that. Oh, not there. Okay, what can I do? So that's done. And then I simply say, everybody say goodbye to this photo being deleted. Bye. Bye, photo. Thank you. Bye bye. And don't worry, if at worst case scenario, I still have the original. So for me, I just have it on my Flickr just to have a quick and easy way to get back to it. So I'm just going to drink a little bit. And now to move on to the next photo. So now, of course, I'm going to do this one here. So I already have a tab open for this one. So that's when I go silent, guys, for a while, it's because I'm typing out the information. So again, it's not because I don't want to talk to you guys. It's just I have to put in some work, right? No money, no honey, as they say. So that's what I'm going to do now. All right, so I'm done with this photo. So as you guys can see, putting that in, and I already found the basic code in HTML for at least Andreas Finninger. And I also put in for gelatin silver print because that's the other thing I do like is adding information. So I semi know what it is, but it's one of those things that I so rarely see that as soon as I see it, I forget what it is. So sometimes I put that stuff in not only for other people's benefit, but for my own as well. So now I'm just double checking on the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts to see if this photo is there, and it is. So I'm just going to add the hyperlink to that particular item on the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts website as well. And don't forget, guys, sometimes it's not as prevalent as it used to be. I know for a website like Flickr and for Google, the more your website is linked to other things, the higher ranking your website gets. So that's the other reason why I do this is that it gives me more attention, right? Because it sees that people are coming from my photo stream to go other places as well. And people potentially are coming from other places to my photos too, right? So that's why it's important to always have those as many of those hyperlinks as you possibly can, so that you're creating potentially as many links as possible. It's not guaranteed to work, and I'm certainly not saying that nowadays that's how Google works. But at one point, it used to be that way, right? And it's still semi a factor, but like I said, it's not as big of a factor as it used to be, right? But I still do, like I said before, anyways, because it allows people to get more information and to find out more about that particular topic or artist or whatever the case might be. So either way, for me, I do it anyways, right? So I'm just gonna replace if this allows me. There we go. Thank you. And there we go. Oh, I forgot to change to move the title. There we are. Get that title and replace it. There we are. And now, of course, we're going to say bye bye to this one. Bye. Have a great day. There we are. And next photo. Okay, nobody else. All right. And like I said, guys, if you have a question, if you want to see something in particular, let me know. Don't be afraid to say anything. So I didn't find anything satisfactory on Robert Walker, so that's why I just didn't do it. That's the other thing too when you're doing this kind of thing is you kind of have to uh, make a certain amount of decision as to what to put, what to make a hyperlink of, and what not to. Like I could have very easily have created a hyperlink for Montreal, for example, or inkjet print. But those are common things that, if you don't know where Montreal, Quebec is, what can I really do? There's certain things that are common enough knowledge where I don't really feel it's necessary for me to add that information to, but I technically could. Okay, so I'm just going to continue, guys. And like I said, if you guys have questions, if you guys have issues, maybe there's something you'd rather talk about or rather see me do, let me know. Sorry if I'm also drinking while working. Important to keep hydrated. And of course, some of you guys, if you were here Tuesday night, will recognize the name of Marc Aurel Fortin. He's one of the three Canadian artists that I talked about on my live stream on Tuesday night. So see here, guys, I noticed a mistake that I made. I put this one for this, when in reality it should have been for this. Now, thankfully, I had realized because when I searched up, I knew I had seen this before, and I knew to look it up and I knew to question it. So sometimes even I can get things wrong, unfortunately. So this one took me a little bit longer to deal with because I know I have several photos of this one, so I was making adjustments to the other photos as well. That's why it was taking me a little bit longer with this one than it would have normally. Now that I know I got pretty much as I could, I can now delete this one, and it's probably safe for me to assume that this photo is really for this, but I'll double check at the same time just to be 1,000% sure. I have different ways of checking. I would check my own photos, but also what else I would find elsewhere. So apparently this is actually most likely for this one, but let me double check again. Yeah, it's for that one. So I'm gonna double check this one to see what this one will lead me to. Hmm. Okay, I'm not satisfied with what I got on mine. Hmm. Seems like I've made a major mistake and identified quite a few of my. Huh. Okay, so I have to come back to these three because it seems like those ones I've misidentified them, and I'm not sure if it's my fault or if just that the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts had identified them wrong. I'll have to come back to those. Let me reshare the screen. Okay, with a couple of more. I've given you guys a basic idea of what I do when I go on to my Flickr account. I see the time and it's getting kind of late, and I do have an early morning to deal with, so I'm going to call it a night. So thank you guys for spending some time with me. Thank you, Lashes Journey. Thank you, Mr. Real Estate. Thank you, Tamara and Peter Investor M, for spending a little bit of time with me. I hope this was insightful for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So have a great night, guys. Au revoir. Bye bye.